It was probably the most traumatizing moment she ever had in her life. And I mean, we were the only ones around. Why not jump into action? Why not make sure this individual is safe?
I've never seen a situation where I was able to help in real time. And I was glad we were able to help. It was right place, right time kind of thing.
We get taught, and it's touched on quite often, that public safety is number one. And in that moment, that's all I could think of was public safety. December 15th, we're going to work, dropping a group of guys off. As we were coming back, there was a tool truck of sorts that was parked out in the middle of the road, hazards on, and a guy walking in the middle of the road on his phone. We look over to our left-hand side. We see flashing lights of a overturned Santa Fe.
All we could see was brake lights and the rear wheels spinning. So once me and Huff seen that, we jumped out of the truck, ran down there to see if we could help.
Get up to the individual on the phone, hear him talking to what sounds like dispatch, kind of look at the car and hear a little noise coming from the car, and I overhear the individual include, "Oh, there's someone also in the vehicle."
The passenger side was kind of up against the embankment, and the driver's side we could get to, so he helped me get through some trees and vines and stuff to get down the embankment to the car.
I looked at him and essentially just said, "I'm not asking you to, but we need to figure out how to save this person." He's like, "Don't worry about it," and just dove through the opening, like no hesitation.
Adrenaline was kind of pumping a little bit.
A lot of senses being heightened. Within that moment, my only priority was to make sure they were safe, regardless of putting my body in harm's way or not.
I wasn't really thinking clearly, so I just yanked the door open and tried to see if anybody's in there. When I yanked it open, the car started to roll over.
The entire cab of the vehicle collapses. You just hear shattering glass. So I jump down the embankment because I start to see the vehicle teeter over towards their direction. And I throw my right hand into the wheel well and my left hand up behind the back windshield that had shattered, and just dug in and held it, telling them just back up, back up, back up. And he told me, he's like, "I'm out of the way."
It was just enough time to grab her, and she scurried up out of there, pulled her out, and he was able to hold on the vehicle long enough to get her up out of the way.
Finally let it go, and it just ended up rolling off and then sliding down into a little pond that we happened to not even see at that time. It was still dark in the morning, being at 5 a.m., sun hasn't come up yet. But as it's going down, the front end of the vehicle just completely starts sinking in. I hop over onto the other side off of that guardrail on the road and go over to where he was at, using my flashlight, finding out, if they're okay or anything like that, making sure my probationer isn't hurt whatsoever, as well as the person that he had just saved. Both are okay.
We helped her up the embankment, up to the road, where by then EMS, her mother, and her boyfriend had arrived. They seemed to pretty much handle it from there. She was a little shaken up. She was young. I'm glad nobody was hurt. I was a little concerned. Maybe there was a little bit of worry there that maybe somebody was in there hurt, or maybe we wouldn't be able to help them in time. But other than that, I was pretty calm.
I was grateful for Probationer Guaginti's assistance, especially with him being there. I do not think I could have done it without him. We couldn't foresee, that vehicle rolling off as he was trying to help her out. So on my end, I don't think I would have been able to help because I couldn't fit through the opening to get to her in the first place. So honestly, by myself, probably would not have had the same outcome.
It did a lot for my confidence, Confidence is a big thing here, when we get back into the community. That confidence takes you a long way. It's going to make you or break you. I'm super confident. I'm ready to get back out there and be a regular citizen again, go to work every day.
I think beforehand, he had the motivation to want to do it, but he was just kind of going with the motions. I think after the situation, it really, really started to drive him forward. He has always been highly motivated in him trying to complete this program and get back home to be able to become a more productive member of society.
I've been given a second chance, third chance, You know, sometimes we don't get it the first time around or the second time around. Sometimes it takes 3 times or 4 times, but I'm taking this one serious.
After a few days of really just kind of letting it marinate and stew, just overlooking or looking back on everything that had happened, I felt small sense of pride of being able to give someone a second chance, knowing that there was a possibility that they weren't going to have one. I hope that it sets the example for other officers to continue to serve the public as much as we do, and if ever a situation was to arise like mine, that there would be no hesitation from anyone who would pass by.
Somebody needed help. You know, we got down there and did what we had to do to make sure they were okay. I would do it again for you, you know, for anyone I see in need like that. I believe Huff feels the same way.
I personally wouldn't expect anything because it's just not what I need. Like, you know, if that was to be thanked, you know, I would appreciate it, but public safety is what we do.